top left side of the screen.
There it is.
You got it now?
Yep.
All right. Let's see if the chat works. Howdy, folks. All right. So today we're going to just go through a couple of items that I picked up today at a garage sale. And can you hear me, Russ?
I can hear you, Mo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
What'd you find?
I found. I went to a garage sale, estate sale, and I found. Let's just start going through this bit by bit. I got a box of. It looks like Japanese dolls. So let's take these out. Got these things right here.
Very nice.
So
you got a kimono.
At first, I kind of made.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what I was gonna say is at first I might have botched up the pricing a little bit because at first she was gonna do this for like $3 to $5 a piece, and then after I started buying more or asking about more, she wanted to up the price a bit, but then I got to come back down again. So all right, so I know next to nothing about these. There's no real age on these.
That looks like that's a wedding dress doll.
Yeah. So these ones I didn't know much about. To be honest, it's the other ones I'm going to get to in a second that were a little bit more interesting to me. Hopefully I don't break these. Because it was I look like two sisters. And let's see, I don't know if you can see that there. There's I might say
it's hard to see.
Focus. Yeah, it's hard. You can see the bottom there, though.
Or what do the markings on the bottom say, Mo?
It says Nishi, Nishind doll. So this one was the first one I picked up.
Does there any markings that say like made in occupied Japan or made in Japan?
Well, actually, I'm going to get to one. There's one that I have. I think they're called Hikari. And they are made in occupied Japan. Like these ones right here. This one I found.
Oh, okay, good. Nice. Very nice.
So these ones I believe are made in the 50s. Hikaru or I've sold one similar to this. I found it at a thrift store at a Goodwill for like $5. It sold within a week for $45, and I think I undersold it.
Nice.
So
yeah, because occupied Japan went from, of course, 1945. They started marking stuff about late 40s. They stopped marking it in the 50s. That sometimes some stuff still is marked into the 60s. But occupied Japan, I think the occupation ran up until 56, 58, somewhere around that time.
Yeah. And then what I liked about, I don't know much about the dolls that I picked up, but I like the porcelain ones. Because a lot of times they will have the little stickers on the bottom, and you can look that up. But this one right here, I don't know if this is a handmade one, but I can't tell. Only problem is a lot of these don't have the stickers on the bottom like you would see normally there. So this one is like clay or porcelain.
Ceramic,
yeah.
Porcelain,
No markings.
Very traditional old man with the hat.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of the hat.
If on my Instagram right now, I have the negotiation that I did. I should have done it on video because I guess it's going to go in 24 hours. She started off with, I think it was this one. She said it was going to, you could have it for like $5. And then she said, but I got more in the front room because this was on the dining table. So then I went to the front room, and she has like 50 dolls in there. But most of them are like American porcelain dolls. And when I started asking about those, she started to kind of say, I don't really want to sell that. There's one I wanted, which was like a schoolboy one. It had all these emblems on it. I don't know what they are, but they look cool. It looked like a early 1900s, schoolboy hat, outfit, uniform. And it had all the little stickers on it too. So I said, can I have? And she said, no, that one you can't have. And then she started kind of going. So I went back to the Japanese ones. And one of them I found. The only reason I started getting these is because it wasn't this one, but this one too. This is another one I found.
Very nice. That's neat.
These are, I love this kind of stuff. And usually there'd be like a little sticker right here.
Yeah.
There's one I found that did have it. So this person was a collector because the whole room was an older house. And she said the lady that there probably looked like she was in her 40s or 50s. And she said her mother, I'm assuming, passed away. So this stuff is all 50s stuff. Oh, where is it? So this one, I think this one's a little bit newer. I can't really tell, only because it's in much better shape. But again, there's no. Oh wait, there's something on the bottom there. I don't know if you can see that. It's right here.
Yeah. Is it a?
My camera is horrible, so
katana?
I'll read it for. It says GH. Does it say GH? Is that CH? No, I think it's a G. No, it says China 099. So this is made in China.
China.
Yeah, this one's made in China. But where's the one? The one I'm looking for. We have another one of this. These.
Does he have sunglasses on?
Yes, he does. It's a Buddha, I guess, or a Buddha type.
Type of more of a monk type, yeah.
Yep. I really wish these had the markings on them. That's the only thing that's bad. These two all sitting on her mantle.
Hold that up to the camera so we can see his sunglasses. Those are actually just glasses, but yeah. That is cool.
Because I guess it was kind of like, I forget what it was. There's a cool website about this and about why they came to being and how they started. Okay, so this one, I don't even know why I grabbed this. It just looked kind of cool, but
are they nesting dolls or just?
They maybe. It's completely. I can't even get to them. They're like glued on the bottom there too.
Gotcha.
So I can't even move. But I was trying to reduce the price by getting more items, so I just grabbed.
Yeah, do a bulk buy.
Yeah. Okay, here's the one. This is the first one. The reason I saw it, it's because it has that marking on the bottom there. This is made in Japan. I don't know if you can see.
Hold it up close and real still for a second.
You see that?
Very nice. Yep, made Japan. It's got the maker's mark on it.
Yeah, these are Hakata dolls. I think that's what they call them. And I don't know if it's actually a brand or a style. Because I've sold one and I listed it and it didn't have any markings on it. That's the only reason I went for these. But it was another similar style and it said Hakata. And if you notice that I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, like all of these are that same style of
right
porcelain. And then I think I have one more. So when I saw these, these ones right here, these ones have slight damage, but I didn't damage these.
That's a really interesting piece because you would assume that's a mother and child, but it's very traditional dress and very traditional hairstyle for the child. So, yeah.
This one is, I mean,
traditional peasant dress. You know, that's something.
Yeah, they had a lot of different older pieces in this house. And I wish I could have taken a look at more of them, but there are a lot of other people there looking at stuff. That is it, actually. That's the last of it. But yeah, so that first one, the Hakata, was the one that intrigued me the most. These kind of, when I've looked them up, the range is kind of weird. Like you've got people that sell them for like $15, $20. You've got people that sell these for like a couple hundred. So I'm going to have to do a little research on which ones are better. But for what I paid for them, which was less than $10 a piece, higher than what I like to pay for this stuff. But I think overall it'll be okay.
Well, it's like everything we've always talked about in the past. Things can be worth $10, and that same item could be worth $100, depending on the maker, the amount of people that, or amount of molds made, and then if that person that collects those Japanese dolls, that may be, you may have the one piece they don't have.
Yeah,
and to finish out their collection. Right. That's where the better money comes in. But it's a neat genre to be in. I have some, I was born in Japan, and my parents brought a lot of stuff over.
Okay.
And they had a lot of samurai helmets.
Okay.
And I've got one. It's in my keepsake box. It's stored up for the trip. But the one that I've always looked for is, they were water jugs, old men carrying water buckets. And my mom had those in her house for my entire childhood. I'd like to find those again. I don't know what I would do with them on the bus, but yeah. So there's pieces. And I did see a set at a garage sale one time for $250.
So they're men carrying water then, or is it a family carrying water?
Yeah, it's old men, and they've got a yoke on their shoulder, and they're carrying water buckets.
Okay.
And it was white, high bone porcelain.
Okay.
So you can see that, but dolls like that, it could be a huge thing. I mean, look, I sold a bobblehead for $100 recently.
Yeah. So these ones, I mean, what I find interesting about them is that there's a certain style that people like. The dolls, like the first ones I showed you, like the taller ones,
the wedding
those
dolls,
ones. I'm not as big on those
dolls.
I prefer the porcelain ones, even though they're harder to ship. But I've never had a problem breaking. I just wrap them real well.
You got show one of those wedding dolls, or geisha dolls again.
Okay, I've got this right here.
That is beautiful. Yes, that's
this one, and it is
definitely a wedding.
Yeah, that's not plastic.
That's porcelain, or
I think so. It feels, unless it's very hard plastic, I don't know. But it's
is it marked on the bottom on that one?
I mean, this is made in Taiwan. But then again, this is
that's the stand.
That might not be part of it. That's just the stand. So I can take this.
Tell you that it's definitely from my knowledge, that's definitely a wedding doll.
Yeah, it is not marked on the feet. Yeah, this is always awkward looking.
Don't look up her dress on camera.
I'm trying not to. All right, I'll save that for off camera. No, I don't see any markings. I don't see any markings.
Wedding bow, yeah. So
let me see if I can find anything on the other one. This one did have some markings. On the bottom, it said it's kind of ripped. Let's see, seen from, and I'll spell it for you: DOHJOHJI, and something drama. And then the label is kind of, I don't know if you can see if
it's too small. It's hard to see.
Yeah, sorry.
That might the boxes that she has tells.
Oh, this one, it did say something on the bottom though.
What's it got on the bottom?
This is the one. It said Nishi doll, Nishi, made in Japan.
Have you looked up the Nishi dolls?
I have not yet. I just literally got this like an hour ago.
Gotcha. It looks like she's a performance doll. Now she does have a wedding headdress on.
Yeah.
But that is definitely like a kabuki, not a kabuki style, but a performance style.
And all of these are slightly dusty, you can tell, because this whole room was just for dolls. Like when you walk in, the furniture was laid out like a living room or a front room. Every piece of furniture had a doll sitting on it. Like the couch had a doll, like 2 or 3 dolls. The mantle is all dolls. These were all on one cabinet. So I don't know.
Was it one theme? I mean, was it all Japanese?
Not really. It was split. It was half
like
vintage, like American type dolls, which she wouldn't let me touch, and the Japanese ones. So I think she knew about the daughter, knew about the American ones, but maybe not the Japanese ones. Because she kept saying, "I don't know how much. I'm not sure about this. I don't know about this." And then she went from like $1 to $20. And I said, well, I only have a certain amount, so I can't. And then we kind of railed it back in. But she kept saying my mom was a big collector. And I could see that throughout the whole house. There was a lot of religious stuff. There's a lot of dolls. There's a lot of books. There's a lot of records. I asked about postcards, and I think she said they'd already gone. So this, and there was a guy behind me. Literally, when I was taking these down from the cabinet, a guy reached over me like this and grabbed one, and I just said, and then lucky the lady right there, she said, "Oh, he's getting all of those." So he said, "Oh, okay," and he put it back down.
Which one did he grab?
He grabbed, I think, this one right here.
Okay, that's the one you look up. That's the one you look up
that's
first.
The one I looked up first.
Yeah,
that was right on top, and he grabbed it. Yeah,
I tried to, we're all in this together. I try to be very nice and very calm, but you reach over my shoulder, you're going to know about it. I mean,
and it was obvious. This is like, it's a estate sale. It's a small room, tiny room. I'm in the corner.
Have the decency to say, right. Have the decency to say, are you getting that one? Can you hand that one to me?
So then I had to wait. And then I asked her to get a box, but she was kind of all over the place. And I hoped, then I could hear from the other room saying, I'm coming, don't worry. I'm coming, don't worry. But I don't know if she was talking to me or somebody else, but luckily she was talking to me. And then, so she came back in with a big U-Haul box.
That's a good point, Mo. How many garage sales, estate sales have you gone to that, it's hard to get that person's attention. It's hard to get them to focus. Can we use that to our advantage at the time? What are the disadvantages of that? Because there's times where, you're wanting to make a deal and a good sized deal like that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's asking about a Coke opener.
Yeah.
What's your techniques of getting them to focus in on you?
Well, last week, or is it 2 weeks ago, I went to a place and you could tell they were just kind of lounging around. It was two houses next to each other. There were two lawns side by side. And they were, they had the beers broken out, which is cool. That, have a good time. That's all good.
Yeah.
But when somebody asks you a question, at least you can answer. And the guy wasn't doing anything. He was standing next to his buddy at the bottom of the driveway. And I asked about a video game. And he said, he just kind of looked at me and then he said, I don't know. That's in the garage sale over there. And then, but over there meant the guy that was standing right next to him.
Right next to him.
And that guy didn't even bother looking up. So I said, okay, so how much is this? Then he looked at me, I don't know, $5. So I think they were, when you get that kind of garage sale, whether they just
the aloof garage sale. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
that's where lowball offers can break out.
Yeah. So then I think he said $20, and it was like a generic. It was not generic, but I mean, it was like a common video game. It's worth maybe $8. So I said, no, it's okay. But then I get that a lot over around here, especially with people that are moving, that are not really looking. They're just looking to make anything. They're really aloof, and they just kind of, take whatever it is,
Right.
But then, so I think the garage sales that I've seen in my very local area are not so great. This one happened to me. It wasn't that bad, but I like to drive further south, like to go to like San Jose, like South San Jose, because they're bigger houses and they're ready they know how to deal with people.
Right.
So my whole thing is usually, to answer your question, I go straight in, I'll hone in exactly what I want, and I won't move. Because you never know, if you move, you don't know if that guy's going to come back. He's going to go in the house and, get a Coke or whatever, come back in 15 minutes. So I'll try and figure out who the person is right away. That's actually the owner of the house, and what I want. Deals,
right? Yep.
Like in and out fast. Because a lot of these guys just want to make a conversation.
True. And typically I do it like I would do it at a thrift store or at the bins. If I start seeing things, I immediately find that person and say, where can I make a pile? And, I want to go behind the table so nobody else sees it. And I start making a pile. And then I can look at them and go, catch their attention for just a few seconds. How much for it all? And if they balk, then I'm going to offer and see, work from that aspect. I think, Bonafide hustler Chris, he really has a lot of good techniques to use. On garage sales like that.
I'm not as smooth.
He's so smooth at that time. But you got to adjust for each one. But I do find, if it's one or two items, how much you want for that, especially if they don't have them marked. How much do you want for that? How much do you want for that? And I've seen these people that don't do a lot of garage sales, and most people don't. but they don't do it. And man, they're stressed because 19 people are asking them at the same time. So I always try to be that one that kind of stands out and go stupid with them, or go, hold up a $20 item and say, will you take 10 cents for this? And laugh at them and try to get their focus attention on that. Because that can mean, to me, that can mean the difference between a great buy, a good buy, or a dud.
Yeah. I'm actually, I'm somebody, I don't know if I've ever even run a garage sale, maybe one ever, but I bought from several. Running one, I would probably be that scatterbrain guy. I'd probably be like, okay, whatever, okay. So yeah, I don't blame them for being kind of all over the place, especially if it's, I couldn't understand to be honest, selling stuff that means something to you like that would be tough.
Especially the attachments, yeah.
Especially if it's
when
like
I sold
in
out
this case,
your mom's stuff.
Go ahead.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Your mom's stuff, and she knows that, but she doesn't have the time. If I see a lot of that down here in Florida, where the parents have gone and the children are selling out the stuff. They may know it's valuable. They may know that it's his, but let's add to the stress of a situation of losing your parent, or putting your parent in a facility, or you got that. Now we've got to deal with all of mom's stuff.
Yep.
And it's a stressful situation. Try to keep them in mind of it, what stress they're going for, or what stress they're under.
I couldn't imagine that. That kind of, and then insult to injury. Somebody comes and says, "Can I give you 50 cents for this or something?" You tell me.
Right. Yeah. And it's your mom's most prized possession that her dad gave her in 1945 at a fair. It's good. Yeah. I did when I ran the garage sales in Mobile to sell out the contents of that 3-bedroom house. I did it inside, so I didn't have to be outside. And I also put stuff in areas. This is $5 area. This is $10 area. This was, then this was price marked. And then I had $1 a piece area, or 2 for $1. I didn't deal in change. And that was real successful for me, because people came in, they grab it. Where'd you grab it off of? Or I knew what I had, $5, $6. What's the price on this type of stuff? So it went real smooth. But I've been to hundreds and hundreds of garage sales to learn from those techniques. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I like them. They kind of, like I said, I have to drive a little bit distance to get a good one, though. In my local area, you tend to see a lot of like baby clothes and some beaten up tools. Tools are good, but these are beaten up, super beaten up. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I found so far.
Awesome Japanese dolls. That's a good find. Now, are you going to local list those and eBay
these
list
are all going.
those? Or?
I'm going to try and eBay list all of these. None of them are that big. Even the biggest one I have here is not very heavy. This is probably like 3 pounds, if that.
Now, how would you, being a shipping expert, tell me how you ship that?
That right there, that's going to be, well, this one is not very fragile, except for the face. So what I would do is I boxed and then I box again, the hands and the face. So I would box this, and I have a small box for this, small box for this. If this, and it feels like it is keeping this very stable, I'd keep the stand on here. I'd just say withstand. And then I'd place it in the box. Once it's in the box, then I stuff. So I'm going to have a box here, a box here, a box here, and then stuffing, and it's going to be placed within a box. So the rule that they told us is you always want at least 2 inches around everything, even for a single box. So just, a box that's not double boxed. So 2 inches around is that's pretty far out. So it's all the way out here. And then just bubble wrap, dunnage paper, and you just shake the box. Because now FedEx's new thing is if you drop off stuff, if you shake the box and they can feel it, doesn't matter if it's brand new, whatever. They'll tell you we're going to charge you $6.99, at least in my area, to rebox it, or you take it back with you. They'll refuse it a lot of times.
Oh wow! Bring that doll back.
Yeah.
Bring that dog. That's a pro tip right there. I want people to focus on. You were saying box the hands, box the face. Mm-hmm. So you'd make a little piece of cardboard like a box.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a professional box.
Right, yeah. You just take some cardboard.
Take a flat piece of cardboard and just cut it like we would, for those little games we play in elementary school. And you just put one here, one straight here. And on the inside of it, for something like this, you probably bubble wrap it first. You can bubble wrap here. And you don't have to do it too tightly. What I've noticed is sometimes people overly wrap something like this. This will snap right here. This will snap right here. And then the little eyes here, assuming they're plastic, those can, all these little things can go. So if you just wrap it, you could even wrap with, before bubble wrap, they have a thin foam wrap. You can wrap with that, or even paper. The only thing with paper you need to watch out for, if this is porcelain, and if you have paint on this right here, and you just use paper, the paper will rub up and down, and sometimes this will come off. But can't tell if this is hard plastic.
That's a really good tip, Mo, because my thing would be, not knowing that, I would say just wrap it and bubble wrap and go. But no, protect the little intricacies of
all the little
item.
parts, the break points. Just imagine like all the pressure points. So this especially because it's hard plastic or hard porcelain, then it would snap. So I would just probably fill this with something foam or something dunnage, then put that little box there, and it doesn't take long at all. Because especially if you do, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Especially if you.
I was just going to say that people seem to think it takes longer. It takes longer when you try and find specific size boxes for everything. Everything, 90% of the packing you do for stuff like that is kind of Franken boxing. It's also Franken packaging, because the inside of the, like if you ever look at like a brand new toy now, you got a pair of, there's an episode of King of Queens, he gets a pair of scissors, but it's packaged. So he needs to find a pair of scissors to cut open the pair of scissors. That's how everything is now. Yeah. It's all tie wrapped down, bubble wrapped to cardboard, and it's wrapped in the back. So then you have to cut that, rip it apart, then, try and get to it.
And that packaging it, like you're talking about, is, when the end user gets it, one, they know that you've cared about the item they now own, because the minute they buy it, they own it. So I always try to think of like, how would they, I want to show my customers that I care about their item. And that would really do it. And it's also safer because you don't want, what happens if it's broke in shipping? Now you got to go through, you got to go through
it's just a waste of time.
It's a waste of your time. So just do. Yeah. That's real good. That is a pro tip deluxe right there, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this stuff, it's so easy because here's another one, because when you're on eBay, like this one already has broken pieces. If you can see that, it already came with broken pieces before. So these right here, I would actually separately bubble wrap this. It's 2 fingers that are already broken. So for that right there, I'd have to, obviously in your eBay listing, you're going to list that. But then I would separately wrap that. And then you also not just separately wrap it, but you kind of put it, I would probably, in this case, have a little box. I put it right here on top of it.
Extra,
so you can see it. Because
right. If it's just wrapped in a thing, and they're just going to throw it away. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when we used to do a lot of shipping, we used to do a lot of auction house shipping. So then we did this big jewelry lot, and then it was like, I don't know, 50 different rings, and they're small, only like, this big. And then the guy gives us a call and says, I only have 49. I said, what do you mean? They're all itemized and everything. And even when we did all that, he said, well, I threw out the packaging. So what he did was he didn't look at all, because each box had, I think, 3 to 4, and they were numbered and taped. I actually taped it to the box, so you couldn't throw it out without actually ripping it. So what he did was he just threw out the box, and I guess he didn't rip out one of them. So stuff can get lost in the packaging is my point to that. And it's especially something that small.
And that's a return.
Yeah. People don't have the patience.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Sounds good, Mo.
Yep. So I think what we'll do next time is maybe I'll do a follow-up to see how these sold. I'll try and list as many of these as I can today. And then I have so many things to list. It's ridiculous. But once I'll get them through, and then I'll see if I can do an update on that because my eBay sales are
do an update.
A little bit low, so we'll do that then. So
gotcha. All right, bud. Take care.
All right. Have a good one, Russ.
You too. Take care.